In the hushed corridors of KPMG Australia's gleaming office towers, March 2026 brings a revelation that shocks the corporate world to its core. A whistleblower has come forward, risking it all to unveil a harrowing truth. KPMG, a stalwart of honesty and integrity, trusted by global giants, has been stealthily betraying its clients. The firm's supposed guardians of corporate transparency have crossed an unfathomable line, using their privileged access to confidential information not for oversight, but for underhanded advantage. The scandal is as stunning as it is devastating, casting a shadow over the firm's storied reputation. The once unassailable trust between auditor and client is fracturing, calling into question the very foundation on which modern business stands. To fully grasp the gravity of this betrayal, we must rewind and understand the illustrious yet complex world of the Big Four accounting firms. These behemoths, Deloitte, PricewaterhouseCoopers, Ernst & Young, and KPMG, stand as the ultimate arbiters of financial truth. Together, they hold sway over the financial health of the world's largest enterprises, auditing multi-billion-dollar corporations with the authority that only a handful of firms possess. KPMG, in particular, with its origins dating back to the late 19th century, has carved out a legacy as a trusted advisor, built on a foundation of integrity and excellence. In Australia, KPMG transformed into a $1.8 billion empire, synonymous with elite advisory services and the highest echelons of corporate consultancy. Yet beneath this veneer of prestige lay an aggressive culture, driven by a relentless pursuit of success, sometimes at any cost. The relationship with Lend-Lease, an $8 billion colossus in construction and real estate, was one of KPMG Australia's crown jewels.
Had access that was both a privilege and a responsibility, but ambition can blur ethical lines. In a clandestine maneuver that would eventually lead to their downfall, this team harnessed the confidential intelligence intended for auditing to fortify their own bid to renew Lend-Lease's lucrative audit contract. For years, these machinations remained shrouded in secrecy, a scandal hidden in plain sight, as the firm reaped benefits that no client had knowingly agreed to provide. This scheme, a shocking transgression of trust, paints a stark picture of what happens when the sanctity of the auditing profession is compromised by those within its own ranks. In March 2026, the first cracks in KPMG Australia's facade appeared when a whistleblower from within the firm took the courageous step of filing a formal complaint with the Australian Securities and Investments Commission, ASIC. The complaint directly implicated prominent figures, Paul Rogers and Eileen Hoggett, thrusting them into the limelight of scrutiny. As ASIC announced the launch of its investigation, the story quickly spread through the Australian media, sending shockwaves through the financial world. KPMG was suddenly thrust into crisis management mode, scrambling to contain the fallout. Initial statements from the firm were filled with denials and attempts to downplay the seriousness of the allegations. But the tide of public opinion and media scrutiny was relentless and unforgiving. As the investigation deepened, the pressure on KPMG intensified. The first major tremor came when KPMG's CEO resigned, marking the beginning of a cascade of departures. On June 22, 2026, in a dramatic turn of events, Chairman Martin Sheppard, alongside partners Rogers and Hoggett, announced their resignations.
The expected standards, and we acknowledge the repercussions this has had on the whistleblower, our employees, our clients, and the wider community. This public admission highlighted the gravity of the situation facing KPMG and its extensive client network. Particularly, Lend-Lease, a major player on the ASX, was left grappling with the integrity of its audit history, spurring broader questions about the reliability of past audits conducted by KPMG. The scandal not only put KPMG under a microscope, but also cast a shadow over the entire Big Four, drawing the attention of regulators in the UK, US, and EU, now questioning the global practices of these audit giants. The KPMG Australia scandal underscores a systemic vulnerability within the world of high-stakes auditing. The dominance of the Big Four, Deloitte, EY, PwC, and KPMG, creates an environment ripe for conflicts of interest, where the auditors are simultaneously gatekeepers and salespeople. This dual role can dangerously blur the lines of integrity and accountability. Before we continue, if this story makes you want to take real control of your own financial life without depending on institutions that may not have your interests at heart, check out Rocket Money at rocketmoney.com. Millions of people use it to track their spending, spot hidden fees, and build real financial awareness. The crisis at KPMG is a sobering reminder that even the gatekeepers of capitalism need oversight and vigilance. As the world watches how ASIC navigates its investigation, it serves as a wake-up call for all stakeholders involved in corporate governance. The pursuit of profit must always be tempered by the principles of transparency and responsibility. If you found this exploration of financial oversight insightful, subscribe to stay informed about the evolving landscape of global finance and corporate accountability.